trying to speak to Labor, to the Labor Fadden candidate for the by-election here on Saturday, Letitia Del Fabbro, and unfortunately was unsuccessful. They're a bit busy. We've sort of seemed to have spoken to most other people. Also, it seems Andrew Giles, the Labor Minister, is here. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to talk to him either, sadly. Bit disappointing because really wanted to see what Letitia had to say. I think that Letitia's got a real red-hot go of winning this seat, from what I've heard. Letitia's actually come over here. Looks like I've sold you short there, Letitia. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you too.
First of all, can you're standing blocking your own. Can I first ask you how you feel that the mood on the ground here is in Fadden, out at Helensvale, the pre-polling?
Yeah. Well, we're really glad that it's not raining like it was last year, and we've had some really great energy with our volunteers and lots of Labor people coming out to talk about good Labor policies. And we even had a visit from the Prime Minister, so it's been a really great time for us. Yeah.
Fantastic. And look, Labor's got a bit of a record now as being one of the very few parties since Federation to actually win these by-elections as the sitting government. So what's your feeling? Do you think you're in with a very good chance of winning on Saturday?
I think that one win out of 100 years is probably not a record yet, but
it's not a sequence. You're right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that the main objective for us has really been about talking about the good things that the Albanese Labor government's been doing since they got elected last year, and that's certainly why I put up my hand again, because things like improving childcare, Medicare, aged care, these are all the things that make Australia a great place to live, and they're really important for families and communities. So that's really where I'm coming from, I guess.
Right. And what are the major concerns that you're hearing from, the people that you speak to on the ground here at Helensvale? What are their concerns?
Yeah, so I've spoken to a lot of people door knocking and on telephones, and of course cost of living is one of those things that is coming up at the moment. So we've been then talking again about those really great policies that Labor is implementing to try and ease that cost of living, including cheaper childcare and cheaper medicines.
Okay. Any other policies that Labor have come up with that might affect Gold Coast, which has a fairly it's got a fairly senior citizen style population in general on fixed incomes?
Yeah, so certainly aged care, residential aged care reform has been a big thing that the Albanese Labor government has implemented since coming into power last year. So we've seen a 15% increase in the wages of aged care workers, and also the implementation of recommendations from the Aged Care Royal Commission, which weren't being implemented by the former LNP government. So that's included a standalone quality standard for food in residential aged care, which is a really important thing for our older Australians.
Yeah. Look, you mentioned Royal Commissions, and this week there's been a little bit of news about the Robodebt Royal Commission, that there's been a sealed chapter that we still don't know who the two MPs or ministers are that were mentioned in that sealed chapter of the Robodebt Royal Commission report, and Bill Shorten's come out and said some fairly strong things about it. What's your attitude towards that, given that the previous candidate, Stuart Robert, was closely involved as Social Services Minister?
Yeah, so I think no one expected to be going back to the polls this soon after the election last year. It's only just 12 months ago. So I'm really pleased to see that report being handed down, and it was an interesting reading, and if anyone gets an opportunity, definitely get in and read that chapter 1. But what I'm really hoping that we can do is to put that compassion back into human services, and I know that that's what the Albanese Labor government is doing, because no one deserves Robodebt, and it's an indictment on our history, really.
Yeah, terrific. What about the opposing LNP candidate, Cameron Caldwell? Do you have any opinions about him? Obviously he's been strongly involved in local politics or Gold Coast politics on the Gold Coast City Council for a long time, particularly as the planning committee chair, I believe. How do you feel about him? Do you think that he would would be a good new MP?
I don't know Cameron personally, but what I do know as a local mum and a registered nurse is that the things that are important to me in my community, education, healthcare, aged care, childcare, they're also important to the people that I meet every day in this electorate. So, yeah, those are priorities for me.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the media have been giving you a good run here in this electorate? You know, there has been some complaints by the candidates that they've 7, 9 and the ABC have been mostly favouring the LNP candidate. Have you been getting a fair run, do you think?
I think with a 10.6 margin, percent margin, that it goes without saying that there's going to be more attention to the LNP candidate.
Yeah.
But also, we've had a great bit of media this year because it's a by-election. We're the only election happening in the country, so we've had a good bit of attention, which has been fun.
All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the voters of Fadden before you go to the polls on Saturday?
Yeah. Well, I think that my main message really is that we can't have another term of an LNP in this electorate, and we could do a lot better if we had a strong Labor representation in the Albanese Labor government. So, yeah, vote Labor.
Fantastic, and thanks very much for your time, Letitia. I almost didn't get to speak to you, and that would have been awful.
Thank you so much.
And best of luck
Okay.
on Saturday.
All right.
Appreciate your
Thank you.
time.
All right, bye. See